Hi, my name is Mary Lou Spees, and welcome to the first Heartbeat program. I'm Public Relations Coordinator with the Bloomington Heart Health Program, and this very first program we have two special people as our guests. We have Jerry Frutel, who's the Executive Director of the Bloomington Heart Health Program, and we also have Steve Moso, who is the Chairperson of the Bloomington Heart Health Advisory Board. Welcome to you both to the very first Heartbeat. We're very pleased that this is a program that will be on each month. The Bloomington Education Cable TV and also the Bloomington Heart Health Program will be working together, and we'll be providing each month a different focus. We'll also have, along with guests in the studio, we'll be doing some field interviews. We'll be having filming out in the community, and each program will have a heart health tip of the month, along with a calendar of events. So it's something for people to look forward to, and I feel very pleased that you have agreed to be first guests on this program. The Heart Health Program has been in existence for 2 years now, and so on this first program we thought it would be fitting to have an overview of the program, to give you an update of what's been happening, and to tell you what's yet to come while the program is in existence in the community. First of all, I'd like to have Jerry Frutel give a overview of the program. Jerry, if you could tell us some of the basic purposes of the program, the goals, major research emphasis, etc.
Sure. Well, our major goal really is to reduce the numbers of heart attacks and strokes that are occurring in the community of Bloomington. We're one of 3 education programs like this in the country, so we're fairly unique. And one reason that makes us unique is that we're taking a preventive approach to this problem. As you know, we have one of the most highly developed treatment systems in the world for medical problems. Nonetheless, we have one of the highest heart disease rates in the world also. And recent research more and more is indicating that a preventive approach to this problem can be effective in communities. What we're trying to do is find out how effective it can be, and to do the research to demonstrate not only that it is effective, but which particular methods are effective. Particularly what we're trying to do is encourage people to change those behaviors that contribute to their levels of heart disease. For example, cigarette smoking, the high-fat, high-sodium diets that the typical American eats, the lack of exercise that most of us endure and partake in. So what we're trying to do is provide people information, skills, and opportunities to make changes that they can take personally and that they can make personally to improve their chances of avoiding a heart attack or stroke. A couple other things that make our program unique is that it's a community-wide focus. This means that we're trying to reach everyone in the community, kids, adults, the elderly, everyone. We have programs in the schools, programs in work sites, churches, and other community organizations. It also means we're trying to work with a wide variety of community leaders to help us address this problem. I should mention that we're funded through the National Institutes of Health and sponsored by the University of Minnesota. The last thing I'd mention along these lines is that we are also a research project. So a great deal of survey research as well as measurements of the rates and levels of heart attacks over several years are taking place as a part of this program so that we can truly identify whether we're having an impact over the course of this program.
Mm-hmm. And you emphasized the fact that it is a research program, also the fact that what's taking place here in Bloomington can and it is actually already putting Bloomington on the map. The nation is watching our community because of this community-wide approach that we're taking. And it's very fascinating to know and to feel that what we're doing here may in fact have great implications not only in our country but around the world as far as community-wide heart disease prevention methods and approaches.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Right, there have only been just a handful of programs in the world that have tried this approach to preventing heart disease. We've had visitors from Sweden, and there will be some coming down from Canada in a couple of months in the field of public health who are very interested to see what we're trying to accomplish here in Bloomington.
Mm-hmm. Well, you mentioned community leaders that we're working with them, and obviously we've got one of our finest Bloomington residents here with us today, Steve Moso. Steve, you have been on the advisory board from the beginning and our chairperson with the Heart Health Advisory Board. Can you describe for us the role of the advisory board? Tell us a little bit about the representation of the members and the structure, et cetera, for people that may not be aware as to what that makeup is.
Sure. I've been involved with the Heart Health program since its inception, and party to the discussions and a participant on the Heart Health Advisory Board since the beginning of the program. And the purpose of putting together that advisory board is to put those people at the university that are carrying out research and delivering a service to our community in touch with the needs of the residents of this city, in so much as we really want the programs that we develop to be acceptable to the people in this town, and we want to make sure that there's a partnership relationship developed between Bloomington and the university. And so that's why the Heart Health Advisory Board is particularly important for guiding this program. So first of all, it presents an opportunity to encourage a partnership between the university and the community. Mm-hmm. And secondly, it provides an opportunity to link the university to those essential organizations in the community that are very important to carry out the programs and to see that these programs continue after the university ceases to operate in this community, which is some time from now. Mm-hmm. We have also made a very important point through the activities of the advisory board to get to the leadership of this community. And more recently, we've expanded the board. There's some 47 members of the board, and we meet as a full board 2 times a year. We have an executive committee of 10 members. And these community leaders represent all segments of life, all the way from the clergy through business and advertising, Chamber of Commerce, schools, the elderly. They're your friends and neighbors who understand what makes the heart of Bloomington beat and tries to make that part of the personality of the program. And it's an opportunity to participate and make this program special to this community. I might also add that, as Jerry underscored, this is a very special program. My business is in the business of health and public health, and Bloomington is a very special city to be this kind of a service and this kind of educational opportunity, because we're setting in motion the course for other communities throughout the United States. We're discovering the art and science of how to keep people healthy. Mm-hmm.
And it's just such a tremendous feeling, that sense of community, I think, that we have as a staff to see this kind of cooperation, not only from those that are the Heart Health Advisory Board members, people that serve on our task forces, who help us in the office, who help at the Heart Health Center and the like. And one of the things that I'm involved with is Public Relations Coordinator for the Heart Health Program, is helping to raise the general awareness of the program in the community. And we know that awareness has to take place first before people can be tuned into what it is that they should or shouldn't. And so we're always looking for ways that we can make our program and our program's name very visible and a part of the community. And everything from billboards that we've had on the freeway and in front of restaurants, to flyers through the schools, to various church-related functions, to our various community programs that we've got and the like. And so we're quite pleased. Every 6 months the university does a survey, and the general awareness level of the community about the program went from 47% to 64% in 6 months' time. And so people are tuning into the fact that this is in the community, and they're even learning the name, Bloomington Heart Health Program. And so we're very pleased. Well, one of the main components of the Heart Health Program is the Heart Health Center, and that's the one I think that most residents are probably familiar with. And Steve, as a resident, you and your family have been through the Heart Health Center. Can you tell us, first of all, about the center, and then about your visit to the Heart Health Center and what that experience was like?
Well, I think the key point about the Heart Health Center is that it's not a medical clinic.
That's right.
It's not a place where you go to get treatment for an illness or disease. It's unusual in that sense. It's located over on 92nd and Lindale. It's a convenient location. There's parking available. When you walk in the door, you're cheerfully greeted. You realize, as I said, this is not a medical facility. And during your visit to the Heart Health Center, there are a number of things that occur. First of all, you're given a number of tests. And after you've received these tests, then you proceed to a variety of stations, which are primarily focused at interpreting the results of these tests, and then secondly, telling you what kinds of lifestyle changes you might want to pursue in order to reduce your risk of heart attack and stroke. During those educational sessions, you learn about cholesterol and what it is, and what kinds of things affect your cholesterol levels. You learn about the importance of physical activity. You learn about the risks of smoking and opportunities to refrain from smoking in our community. You learn about nutrition, and you learn about other opportunities that are in Bloomington to learn more about the kinds of things you need to do to improve your health.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a relaxed atmosphere. You have both tests, the interpretation of tests, and then you're given knowledge to what to do to change your risk of heart attack and stroke.
Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of people have not quite known what to expect
Mm-hmm.
when they walk in that door. And I've seen people, come out after that Heart Health Center visit and after they've had their assessments for cholesterol and their blood pressure, and they've realized it's been different from going to a doctor's office, and they've kind of just come out with this big smile on their face like, oh, that's what it is all about. And so your personal experience now, if you could kind of convey what that was like for you and your family when you went through any impressions that you had, I think that would be interesting for people.
Well, it's although anytime you're called up to participate in a test, you're a little bit anxious, and if you don't know what the program is or much about the facility, there's always a certain amount of anxiety. But as I said, you walk in the door, you're greeted, you fill out a few forms, you go into another room where these tests are provided to you. I wouldn't say they're totally painless, but there's not much pain associated with the tests that you're given. And then you proceed to the various stations, and I think that the process of going through with other people is a nice process. You don't ever feel threatened. The interaction with the people that are telling you what are the opportunities in Bloomington to change your lifestyle or to improve your health is a pleasant experience. We both learned about opportunities in Bloomington that we had not known about. And as a result of what we learned in going through this program, I think that we have tried to make some conscious changes in our lives. An example is that we have reduced the amount of dairy products that we use on a regular basis. We've reduced the amount of eggs that we use in our diet. Various members of our family have increased the level of exercise that they engage in on a regular basis. Although none of us were smokers, it reaffirmed our belief in the fact that smoking is harmful to your health, and shortly after attending the Heart Health Center, we have a little sign that we put up on our entryway door, "Thanks for not smoking," and we try to discourage our friends who may come over to our house from smoking because of its harmful effects. So in a sense, we've become health educators for the Bloomington Heart Health Center as well.
And that supportive feeling of going through the center as a family seems to have helped then in following up and making some gradual changes.
It's not just one of us that is participating. It's a kind of event, and so that we understand when where are my bacon and eggs, and they're not there. There's no question. We understand that.
Now, Jerry, the Heart Health Center opened in June of '84. Right. How many residents have been through the Heart Health Center to this point, and for the risk factor assessment. And maybe you can tell people on how people are recruited to come through the Heart Health Center for this visit.
Sure. The number changes every day because we're seeing people 6 days a week. Right now we've seen a total of about 16,000 Bloomington residents in the center. And we'll be trying to finish up our total center operation by June 30th of this coming year. And between now and June 30th, we hope to see approximately another 15,000 people.
June 30th, 1986. This coming
right.
summer.
Right,
Okay.
so that part of our program we hope to be finished with. And that will mean that we have seen 60% of the adult population in our center. That's our goal. And so we're well on the way toward that. The way people are recruited primarily is through an initial letter that we send out to every household in the community. We send those out in waves, several hundred a week. And each letter then is followed up by a telephone call from one of our staff people to set up a specific time when that family can come in for an appointment. And we send the letters and invite 100% of the households in Bloomington. And as I say, our goal is to actually have 60% of them come through. We're trying out a new approach to recruiting now also, which involves a letter to households where people could call us to set up an appointment. And we're going to see how that works, and if it works, we'll probably expand on that also. So those are really the two different ways we find people and encourage them to come to our center.
So even in this aspect, this component of the program, we're looking at ways, at approaches that will work, because if this is to be duplicated in other parts of the country, they'll have learned from us as to ways that people best seem to be motivated as far as coming through the center and having their risk factors for heart attack and stroke assessed.
Exactly. In fact, in one of our sister programs in Mankato, which has a similar program to ours, some studies have been done on the Heart Health Center to see whether in fact it's effective. And so people were surveyed and followed up 1 year later, and in fact we found that indications are that in fact that experience is positive. It does benefit people to making some of these changes that we're encouraging. So we're hoping and assuming that the same thing is happening in Bloomington, and our indications so far that people are satisfied with their visit and are learning some of the important information that we're trying to convey to them.
Living in the community, and maybe Steve too, you get this from people, if they've heard that the center, Heart Health Center, is going to be closing after June 30th, 1986, there are some people that wonder, well, if I didn't go through the Heart Health program for an assessment, or if I want to go back and have my cholesterol checked or whatever, they're wondering what's going to happen after June 30th. Do you have any news for us? Or
Well, we're working closely with the Bloomington Health Department to see whether they can establish a similar operation to offer residents after June 30th, presumably for the next several years. Now that's just in the beginning planning stages, but they very definitely are interested in trying to offer something like that starting yet this summer. If that's the case, and I think it will be, then residents, even those who have been through our center, could have another opportunity to go back a second time to department and have their test taken again to see if they're improving. Or people who didn't come through our center for the first time could also go there later on.
And being that it is a community-wide program, we look for ways that we can help residents stay motivated and learn some skills as to how they can make some gradual changes in their lifestyles. And this would be, as you mentioned before, helping people to quit smoking or to eat healthier, to lose weight, to become more physically active. What does the Heart Health Program have for people who are interested in making those changes? What are some of the programs that are offered?
Well, one of the areas that we're emphasizing very strongly are some very direct educational experiences for people where they can learn the skills that they need to make these changes. And we're really emphasizing different areas. So we have, in a sense, their classes, their group experiences where people, for example, learn how to quit smoking. So one of our courses is called Quit and Win, and it teaches people the skills they need to know how to quit. Most smokers know they should quit, they want to quit, and many of them have tried to quit many times. What our class does and what makes it unique is that it teaches them specifically how to go about it. What kinds of behaviors and steps do they need to take to quit smoking. Another class that we have is called Building Your Fitness Future, and it's for people who are interested in developing their own exercise program. It's not for people who are already physically active, and it's not a high-powered aerobics class. It involves teaching people how to choose an exercise, how to warm up, how to think about building it into their daily schedule, because time is always a problem for people when they want to exercise. Well, this class teaches them how to address those barriers to exercise about getting started. Another class that we have is called Wise Ways. It's a weight control class for people who want to maintain the weight they're at or who want to lose weight. And again, it teaches specific behaviors that they can take to lose weight, but more importantly, once they lose it, to keep it off, which again, for people who have tried to lose weight or have lost weight, the biggest problem for them is keeping it off after they've lost it. And many weight programs don't really emphasize that. Ours emphasizes keeping it off.
Real state-of-the-art programs.
All of these are. They've been developed by both researchers and educators at the University of Minnesota. They've been well developed and tested, and the materials are very excellent, and we get a very good response from people who do take these courses. Another class we have is called Eat Smart for Your Heart. The emphasis there is on teaching people how to prepare food, how to order food, how to purchase food that's heart healthy, how to read labels at the grocery store, how to reduce the amount of sodium in their diet and still have the food taste and be palatable. So those are the major classes that we have. We also have some speaking materials, educational materials, videotapes, slide tapes, and a speaker's bureau that can deliver this kind of information to groups in the community. So anyone out there who belongs to an organization that would like to have a presentation on these topics can also benefit from our program in that way.
And best of all, those presentations are free.
Right.
Doesn't cost the organization a cent.
Right.
And they've got really some interesting topics and audiovisual materials and activities for the members to be using, etc.
Right. One thing I just want to add there, Mary Lou, is sometimes people think making changes are impossible. How can they change their whole lifestyle? Realize, and what we try to emphasize in this program is gradual changes, gradual modifications,
Right.
small changes, one step at a time that anyone can do if they simply know the techniques for getting started.
Okay. Well, I think that's a good point now. When we're talking about making these changes, we have a heart health tip each month, and this particular tip this month is going to be on physical activity, and David Golden from the Heart Health Program, who's a community health specialist with our program, is going to be telling people about how to become more physically active now during the winter months. So we'll take a short pause here in our discussion and watch what David has to tell people.
Hi, I'm Dave Golden here from the Bloomington Heart Health Program, here with this month's Helpful Heart Hint. Physical activity, what's it do? As most of you know, the best thing it does for you is it's great for your heart, all right? It can lower your serum cholesterol. That's right, physical activity can actually lower your serum cholesterol. Next thing is, and this is maybe the most favorite reason that I run into from people, is you can look better and feel better by getting physically active. Now, usually when we talk to people about how come they're not as physically active as they'd like to be, is because I don't have the time. Think about it. Think about your day. You work all day or you have kids and you just simply don't have the time. Try this. Pull out your schedule book. Look at those times when you absolutely cannot participate in physical activity. Look at those times when you're at work. Look at those times where you simply have to be home or wherever you have to be. Mark those off. Okay, those are the times I can't exercise. Then look at all those open spaces left. Look at the times when you can participate in physical activity. And schedule it. Schedule it just like an appointment. You don't miss appointments when you go to work. You don't miss doctor's appointments. Schedule it like an appointment you don't miss. The biggest appointments that people don't miss are those appointments they make with friends to go out to lunch. Try and schedule physical activity just like you do that, and you're going to overcome that barrier for time. is all you need is a half an hour, 3 times a week. That's it. And you're doing your heart a lot of good if you engage in some kind of aerobic activity. That's this month's Helpful Heart Hint. Talk to you next month.
Well, welcome back, and I'd like to thank David Golden for the Heart Health Tip of the Month on fitness, and that happens to kind of tie in nicely for our April program, which is 1 month away from now. David will be on at that time with a guest, and they'll be talking more particularly about the Shape Up Challenge that'll be taking place in the community in May. Next month we have a special treat. We're going to take our cameras out to the Heart Health Center, and we did talk with Steve and Jerry more about that in this program, but we're actually going to go out to the Heart Health Center for a visit and walk you through with our cameras and have you experience, if you've not been through the center, what that is like. We'll even visit the recruiters and find out what their job is as far as connecting with people in the community and inviting them through for this free heart health assessment. Well, we'd like to finish this program, this Heartbeat program, by thanking our guests, Jerry Frutel, our Executive Director, and Steve Moso, who's the Chairperson of our Heart Health Advisory Board. Thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you next month on Heartbeat.